Hello, my name's Duncan and welcome back away from Donkey and Bath Books. Just to say that I've been to the dentist and half my face is numb. And my wife says that half my face looks like it's drooped a bit because I'm compensating or something. I don't know if it does or not, but... So you're saying, why are you doing a video now? It's because I've got time. And I have to keep taking water, so apologies for that. I have to use a straw. I'm not allowed to eat anything hard tonight. Nearly lost the country. So yeah, doing this video because I've got time. I'm actually going to do another video after this that might be later in the week, so I have to explain the same thing again. But this is the pet tag. Doing the pet tag because I look on what people have tagged me in, and wasn't anything particularly new, and bar one I wasn't sure about doing what I was doing anyway. So I thought I had a look around the pet tag, and I think a lot of people have done this. It's been around for a while, and according to my notes here that I've got in front of me, well, the list of it, it was originally done by Becky from Book Reviews with Becky, and Spill the Reads, because they did a sort of joint tag thing. So I'm going to tag both of those below there, and you can go and visit their pages and have a good look at what they're doing, and hopefully it'll interest you enough that you'll all subscribe to them if you haven't already. So yes, so this is the pet tag. So one, introduce your pets, be it furry, ferret, scaly. Well, you met some of mine. Ruby, who appears in my arms quite a lot, is our Pomeranian, Ruby Roundhouse. Gizmo, our little Yorkie. And we have Lilu, who is our Shar-Pei. And we've had, I'm trying to think, Gizmo's been with us for, is it 2 or 3 years? And then we had we got Gizmo because sadly our golden retriever died. He was 16 years old, and we had a Labrador, and the Labrador was getting lonely, so we got our local rescued lady, who's a lovely lady. We get on really well with her, and she goes out away for us. And we were looking for a companion for to help with Micah, who was our wonderful lab, and so we got Gizmo. And then the sad thing was with Micah got a tumour, and sadly she passed a few months later. So then we had little Gizmo by himself, and little Gizmo didn't like it by himself. So then about 3 or 4 months later, I had a message from Chris, the person in charge of our local shelter, saying, what about this little girl? Because she knew that Gizmo was struggling, and we said, put feelers out and said if we could find anyone. And she was down on the Scottish mainland and with one of her fosterers, and they had a Pomeranian. And a Pomeranian is not a breed of dog I've ever considered in my life. But she looked lovely, and my main concern was Gizmo, because Gizmo was, he was suffering once Mike had gone. So basically the next day she drove up with Ruby and came and dropped Ruby off, and Ruby's been with us ever since, now about 2 years down the line, and she is a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Who knew? I adore that little pommy girl, and she gives so much love. A little barky at points, but however. And I said, little Gizmo, he's also a rescue from the same thing, and he was rescued from, he was found wandering a big city down in England. This poor little Yorkie wandering a big city. And my thing about it was, I don't like Yorkies and I don't like small dogs. And Rosie, my wife, go, no, here we ideal. And he's a wonderful little guy. The problem is now, as you may know, he's got a chronic condition which is tracheal collapse, which can happen in small dogs. And so we're managing that, and hopefully we're trying to keep him stable, and hopefully he'll be with us for quite a few more years. And I said, Ruby's also a rescue, but she came from an old lady who, she had a good life. An old lady sadly had to go into a home, and so couldn't keep Ruby any longer, and Ruby's been around. She's just a happy, smiley girl. And now our Shar-Pei, Lilu, our gorgeous Shar-Pei, we had her from a puppy. Basically, they rescued a pregnant mum who was rescued from a horrible, horrible place from the city. There's Ruby. I will cut a second and we'll let Ruby in. I'm back with Ruby. Ruby Roundhouse. Hey? Oh, she's moaning a bit. She was just barking a bit. She's wonderful, happy, smiley, my wonderful little pom-pom. But yes, I was talking about Lilu, our Shar-Pei. And her mum was rescued from a horrible situation. Somebody had ended up in prison, and where it was, but who knows all the details. And she was one of a really huge litter of, how many was it? It was about 10 or 12 pups. And we got her as a pup. Who knew? And I never knew any huge amounts about Shar-Peis, but they are the most loving dogs in the world I've ever met. Labradors are loving, but compared to a Shar-Pei, shall we put you down? Or are you going to cause hassle? The problem with little Miss Pom here is you want to know, are you going to choose love or violence is always the question. Oh, you burped. Because she will sit here, and if you're not giving enough attention, she'll pat you. She'll pat her paw against you. Going to be groomed tomorrow, so I'm going to give her a bit of a summer cut. So we've got a wonderful groomer. But I'm just going to put her down, so I'll be back in 2 seconds. That tastes weird. It's really weird. So yes, go to question 2 now. So yes, all our 3 now rescues. And Gizmo is the one who's come from, I said he was found roaming a town, I think it was Hull or somewhere like that. He was just found wandering. And then they traced back by his microchip where he was. And we think he was kept in a flat. And basically he wasn't given proper food. All he was eating was takeaways. So we've sorted out his diet and stuff like that. But he still can get a bit weird and fussy with food. Now we've got 2 little dogs and a wonderful, wonderful Lilu the Shar-Pei. And you must have all worked out where we got the names from. Lilu, who is our 5th element. Ruby Roundhouse. See if you work out where Ruby Roundhouse is from. Gizmo's obvious, isn't it? Gizmo is just an obvious name. So yeah. Has your pet impacted your reading life? If so, how? Little Miss Ruby sometimes comes and barks at me when I'm reading. She's got this thing now, is over that side of the room there. I've got a chair that I normally read in because it's nice by the window and I get good light. And she will come up and she will basically come up and try and sit on my arm. And then she'll want attention, you want to be hugged for a bit, then she'll just come and sit down beside you, which is very nice. Nobody else really does much, but that's the most sort of reading life that I've been sort of impacted by them. Name some of your favourite books with your type of pet in them. Oh, this is quite a difficult one. I've got a couple of really good books. I've got the book about Nigel, a golden retriever, by Monty Don the Gardener, which I'll put a picture of the thing up there, which I read last year, which is a really, really good book. That is probably one of my favourite books about them. And if you want ones in fiction books, try to think fiction books with dogs in them. Because you always worry about the dogs are going to die. And a bit like when they appear in a film. Oh, famous one in sort of fiction is The Game. Fable 2, if anybody plays video games. Fable 2, the dog in Fable 2. Sorry, I'm almost spitting here. So yeah. Would your pet be a hero or villain in the book? I think Gizmo would obviously be the hero, because my little Yorkie boy would. And also Lilu would. I think this little Miss Pom, Princess Pom, could be either a hero or a villain. Depends whether he chooses violence that day or loving that day. What's your favourite cosy reading setup with your pet? As I said, I like that chair, and it's really nice to have Ruby just come and do a pom thing and sit down beside you. It's really nice just to see her there and you see her breathing. Little Gizmo used to do something very similar, but since he's got a bit ill, he doesn't really like to jump up that much. If your pet could leave comments on your videos, what kind of feedback would they give? Gizmo wouldn't give anything. Lily would just say that she adores me and can we have some cuddles, because Shar-Pei loves cuddles, and go for some more walks. Little Miss Pom, the Ruby there, I see you over there, would probably just be telling me off and telling me I could do better. But no matter what, I should be giving her lots of love and treats. If your pet were in charge of book club, what snacks or chaos would they bring? Lilu's not particularly worried about food. Ruby will eat anything. Gizmo loses his mind at chicken. That's about it, really. How would your pet design a reading nook? Comfort, wildly practical, impractical, both. Comfort, it's all for comfort. Gizmo would just sort of set himself down. Little Miss Pom finds a nice snuggly spot. Gizmo loves beds. He loves beds and blankets. Lily doesn't care. She likes her main bed, and that's it. But she's also got a crate that she sleeps in at night, which she also adores, and probably leaves that. Have you ever filmed a video and had to edit out any pet chaos? I frequently have to edit out noise from Pom. Not edit out or stop and start. When Micah, our black lab, was around, there's a few videos of her when she poked her head in that I edited bits out or left bits in. It all depends. Normally I just try to leave them in if I can. And sometimes if you heard in the background there, Gizmo's cough, which he sometimes has with his tracheal collapse. So yes, that is them. That is the 3 amigos as they are. And I think that's it. Named up tag people. I think most people who've got dogs and pets tagged. I would have a check around, and I'll probably put some tags at the bottom. But anyway, thank you for watching. And I said this is probably the first video I've done for a while, just because it's all got a bit complicated. Anyway, I will speak to you all very soon. Bye for now.